Here's the problem with growing old. You don't have to be an expert in anything. Just by getting older, you're granted some credibility. And there's a lot of people out there looking for advice from the elders. Now, if you were a spring chicken like me, you might think this is a good thing, but it can also be quite a curse because no one really knows what they're redoing when it comes to life. There's no instruction manual. The people who do pretend to know something usually sell courses or books about it, which never actually work. Now, my generation are all terminally online, doom scrolling through social media and watching pointless videos about things that don't matter. And I find myself no different. However, after many years of going down these rabbit holes, I've discovered always a core set of habits that make a huge difference to your happiness levels regardless of how old you are. So here's 4 habits that changed my life after I turned 30. No. 1. See your age as an advantage. When you're young, you think being young is an advantage. You're allowed to be stupid and incompetent and irresponsible, right? Like you're still learning, but guess what? This is actually a disadvantage. Think about it. Let's say you have a big project at work, or maybe you're starting a new business. Who would you rather have on your team? Someone who's been around the block a few times and has learned a thing or two about life? Or would you rather take the gamble on a spring chicken who thinks they know everything but hasn't really experienced much? It's common sense. We'd want the person with experience. However, we don't apply this to ourselves when we're young. We actually think the fact we're young is a disadvantage. But when you get to my age, you realize having more years under your belt is a distinct advantage over others. Let me give you a quick story. My dad was in the military. He worked his way up and eventually became a general. And when he retired, he started having problems with his knee. He couldn't walk very well. He was born in 1942, so he didn't have the luxury of medical technology that we have today. So he did what any reasonable person would do, and he went to see a shaman. Yes, a shaman. Anyway, he said, "I'm in a lot of pain. Can you help me?" The shaman looks at him and says, "You know, you lead a sheltered life. You live on a base. You get told what to do by your superiors. You wake up early, you exercise, you eat healthy, you sleep well, you rarely drink alcohol. You're pretty fit. There's nothing wrong with you." And my dad was shocked. He thought, how does this guy know so much about me? And then he realized it's just common sense. The shaman had just put together all the clues and drawn a conclusion. But my dad was unable to do this himself because he spent so long trying to convince himself he knew everything. The moral of this story is, you don't need to be an expert in everything. Sometimes it's okay to ask for help. You don't need to suffer in silence. As you get older, you realize nobody really knows what they're doing. Everyone's just faking it till they make it. So it's important to seek out the wisdom of others and use their experiences to guide you on your own journey. No. 2. Stop caring what people think. One of the most liberating things you learn as you get older is not caring what other people think. You used to care about what people thought when you were younger, right? You wanted to be cool. You wanted to fit in. You wanted to do what everyone else was doing. But as you get older, you start to realize it doesn't matter. Let me tell you a quick story. When I was 20, I had a lot of dreams. I wanted to travel the world, meet interesting people, and have exciting experiences. But the problem was, I was scared of what other people would think. I was scared of being judged for being different. So I played it safe and did what everyone else was doing. I got a normal job, I bought a house, I got married, and for a while I was happy. But then I started to wonder what could have been if I had followed my dreams. So I decided to take a leap of faith. I quit my job, I sold my house, and I traveled the world. I went to exotic places, I met amazing people, and I had incredible experiences. But it wasn't easy. There were times when I was broke, when I was lonely, when I was scared. But I didn't care, because I knew that this was my path, my journey, and I was determined to follow it, no matter what other people thought. When I returned home, my friends and family were shocked. They couldn't believe I had actually done it. They couldn't believe I had left my comfort zone and followed my dreams. I didn't care, because I knew that I had done the right thing. I had followed my heart. And that's the lesson I want to share with you today. Don't let other people's opinions dictate your life. Don't let fear hold you back. Follow your dreams no matter how crazy they may seem. Number 3, get rid of toxic people. It's another thing that gets easier with time. You start to realize that not everyone in your life is good for you. Some people are toxic. They bring you down. They drain your energy. They don't want you to succeed. And the best thing you can do is to get rid of them. It's hard when you're young because you feel guilty. You feel bad. You don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But as you get older, you start to realize that it's not your responsibility to make everyone happy. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You have a responsibility to yourself, to your own happiness, to your own success. And if someone is bringing you down, if they're toxic, the best thing you can do is to get rid of them. I remember when I was younger, I had a friend who was always negative. He was always complaining. He was always finding fault with everything. And it was draining. It was like having a black cloud hanging over you all the time. I tried to be positive, but it was hard. Eventually, I realized I couldn't help him. He needed to help himself. So I stopped hanging out with him. I know it sounds harsh, but sometimes you have to be selfish. You have to do what's best for you. That means getting rid of toxic people in your life. No. 4. Enjoy the simple things in life. Another habit that changes everything as you get older is enjoying the simple things in life. Start to realize that the material things don't matter as much. Status, the money, the fame, it doesn't mean squat. What matters is the simple things in life, the things that make you happy, the things that make you feel alive. For me, it's spending time with loved ones, going for walks in nature, reading a good book. These are the things that make me happy, and I try to make time for them every day. When I was younger, I was always chasing the next high, the next thrill. I thought that if I could just achieve X, then I would be happy. But I was wrong. The happiness I found was always short-lived. The thrill would wear off, and I would be chasing the next high. But the simple things in life, they're always there. They're always a source of happiness. So as you get older, try to enjoy the simple things in life. Try to appreciate the small things that make you happy. Try to make time for the things that matter. Life is too short to chase the material things, the status, the money, the fame. Embrace the journey, embrace the ups and downs. It's all part of the adventure. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. It really helps support us. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.